Hi, I'm Adam McCurry. This is our family, my wife Lindsay, our daughter Addison, Nora Clark, and Oliver. We've been on missions before. Lindsay and I have multiple times together and separately, and we know that scripturally we're called to go. But this was the first time that we'd ever taken our entire family, and we really started to think about it. And at the base of everything, we want our kids to grow up understanding that missions is a part of our life. We want them to see us engaged in missions and learn how to do that for themselves.
Last year, Nora Clark had this desire to go on her first mission trip, and she specifically wanted to go to Guatemala, but we felt like it wasn't the right time for our family. So when the trips were announced this year, that same desire was there. So Adam and I had a discussion about who would take her. Would we just let her go? And ultimately, after praying and talking with our kids and with each other, we just really felt like the Lord was calling our whole family to go.
When we first went into people's houses, I wasn't expecting what I saw. I was thinking like it wouldn't have been the way they were, but then I started to get used to it.
When we went to do evangelism, I was kind of nervous about it at first, but after the first day, I started getting used to it, and it was my favorite part of the day to look forward to. And some of the houses we went into just really touched my heart, and I really saw the Lord at work. And I really enjoyed hearing people's testimonies and seeing the people who we were telling them to just like take it all in, and I could see the Lord at work in the houses we went in, and I enjoyed it.
One beautiful way that I saw the Lord work was in salvation. We went into homes and we had prayed that the Lord would go before us, and He's so good to do that. And we had asked that He would prepare the hearts to hear the gospel message, and He did. And while we were there, the team that I was with, we had, I think, 6 salvations over the course of the week. 6 people who gave their life to Christ. And so for me, that was the most powerful thing that I witnessed, was watching these people have a true understanding of the gospel and go from darkness and living in sin to deeply desiring to walk with Christ and live in the light that He has given them in salvation.
To see God's work on display is just a beautiful picture of the church. We really get to see the body of Christ just doing what the body of Christ does. When we go down to Guatemala, we get to partner with these other amazing churches who have just flourishing ministries. And we don't teach them anything new. We just come alongside them and support them in the work that God's called them to do. And the really cool thing about that is after we leave, we know that that discipleship component is really going to continue, which is what it's all about.
One of the things that the Lord really revealed to me on this trip during the evangelism visits was we would go into these homes, and one of the first questions we would ask them was, do you know Jesus? And most every house we went into, the answer was yes. And then we would share our testimony, and after sharing our testimony, we would then ask, could you tell us about your relationship with Jesus? And they would then respond with, I don't think I have a relationship with Jesus. And so we were able to explain salvation to them. We were able to pray with them. And so I think for me, it was eye-opening that although they had some knowledge of Jesus, they did not have a personal relationship with Him. So they were missing the relational component that is how you get to salvation. So they had knowledge, but they did not have faith to believe.
One thing I took away from this trip, and it's been consistent on every mission trip I've ever been on, it's just a renewed sense of intentionality. We know as Christ followers we're supposed to live for Jesus, and we're supposed to share His light in a dark world. Everywhere we go, we get so bogged down with the busyness of life. And I love missions because it's just a reminder of why we're here, what we're called to do, and that's to share the light and love of Jesus with a lost world that desperately needs Him.